we need stuff from people that's in the know. I mean, it's one thing to talk about how much speculation's out there, but we really do need to talk to the people who know the details, right? It's one thing to hear like third-hand information, but the lovely folks at Newsmax have been consistently, interviewing Trump's lawyers who, in theory, should know more about this case and the details of it than almost anyone else because they represent the guy who had the stuff. Right? And they've made the filings. They've, whatever. Anyway, so Alina Habba. Alina Habba. This is from Wake Up America, which I think should be called Wake Up America, damn it. These nuclear document leaks are just stories. Okay, first of all, how does she know? How does she know that there weren't documents there? How does she know which ones were actually there and which? Because the fact that she, as Trump's lawyer, would even know the content of the classified documents that were found is the problem. Yeah, wake up, you fuckers! Right, that's the name of the show. I suppose she could be speaking on behalf of her client, saying that that's just nonsense, and that's all she needs to relate it. But if she asserts that she does know the contents of any of the classified documents that were found there, she does not have clearance to see these things. She cannot even be given clearance by the former president because she was taken on as an attorney after he left office. From more videos from have you seen Ashley Biden's no, not real, by the way. So the wake up, you putzes. All right, here we go. So this is Alina Habba was taken on as an attorney after Trump left office. So there's no way she could have clearance to see classified documents. And any of the documents, like even the ones that they handed back in a red envelope in June, where they admit they were classified, they had not been declassified, and they gave them back after fighting the subpoena for 2 weeks, after fighting the entire, like returning or letting everybody get the documents back entirely for over a year. She didn't have the right to look at those documents. If those in the boxes taken in January or the envelope that was handed over in June, if the information we're getting about nuclear documents about someone else's, another country's, probably an adversary of the United States, their nuclear system, if she knows what's actually in those, that in and of itself is a crime. Like, I suppose Trump could, the only defense would be, and we'll see what she says, but the only defense would be that her client has assured her that, because supposedly he's allowed to see, right? That would be the theory. But I'm curious how they take this. These nuclear document leaks are just stories. They're true, but they're stories.
Review all the documents taken during the raid on Mar-a-Lago 4 weeks ago. For the latest on that, let's welcome in Trump attorney Alina Habba.
Habba. Is the H silent now?
Great to have you.
Did she lost the H in the divorce?
John, good morning.
Good morning.
I want to get your take on this report coming from the Washington Post overnight that, according to yet another unnamed source,
you mean like the FBI whistleblowers that have been talking to Charles Grassley? Somewhere in the order of 20 unnamed sources that they keep talking about?
Donald Trump apparently had documents at Mar-a-Lago that detailed the capabilities of another country's nuclear arsenal. What do you make of the leaks here and the fact that all these supposed sources are all unnamed, always?
Just like all the FBI. By the way, well, we'll get to that in a second. I don't want to get too far ahead. I want to hear what she has to say.
This is incredibly disturbing to me.
All right. That can be true if your client has lied to you and you found out through the news media that your clients lied to you. That can be a true statement if you are implicated yourself in criminal handling of classified information you have no right to see. So again, watch for lawyers to say true things that don't say what they want you to think they're saying.
Terms of leaks coming from the Justice Department.
And again, I would like to remind everyone that you cannot leak a lie. You can lie to a reporter, but that's not a leak. A leak is true. A leak has to be true. Or it's not a leak. It's just a lie. So her calling this a leak even admits the truth in it. Sorry, that's just how it works. You can say the DOJ telling reporters that this is true when it is absolutely not, or the allegation that someone within is saying these things is unfounded and false. The minute you say it's a leak, you have to admit that it's a detail that's true.
Fact that, we had originally, and let's remember the timeline here, originally there were nuclear codes and
No, there were not nuclear codes. There was material about around our nuclear program or the program of a foreign country. That was said at the very beginning. It was nuclear code stuff was hyperbolic BS from Trump world to try and make it like an exaggeration to go, there weren't nuclear codes in there. It was just, thereby saying if it wasn't a code, it wasn't anything to do with the nuclear system. That's a lie. This is a manipulation. And that's her stuff. And I mean, the person who probably said it was nuclear codes and that they mentioned nuclear codes the most was Don Jr. Of all the people. I mean, I haven't seen all of Steve Bannon's takes on this, and I wouldn't doubt he said it a bunch and to dismiss the whole thing. But again, this is a hyperbolic straw man. They create a hyperbolic straw man of your own, and then you go, that's just ridiculous.
And greatest is, there's empty folders.
There are empty folders.
And now they're saying
that's not a question. We saw them. That was in the list of things that they gave to her and to Christina Bobb. Christina Bobb signed off on that list. So that list itself shows that there's empty folders. That was the follow-up.
There's top secret information about another country. When you have to defend yourself, stories come out.
When you have to defend yourself, stories come out. Yeah, I don't know how you could say less.
And that's exactly what I believe they are, just stories.
Right. They're just stories, fairy tales, dreams of a future dystopia.
So at this point,
they are stories, but like news stories, not like bedtime stories. They're like, we landed on the moon. That was in a newspaper. That's technically a story. It actually happened.
Look at the left-wing media's storytelling. It's inconsistent.
It's inconsistent because the details come out over time. I got news for you. The case against Ted Bundy was inconsistent until the court trial. You see how that works? People whispered things about John Wayne Gacy until they dug up his crawl space. And then even then, people were like, what's going on with what's in there? Tales of the crawl space came out all over the place. That doesn't mean that they were intentionally manipulating things. That means people were going on the information they had at the time, and that information stacked.
Ages, and it's been all over the.
Am I looking into this camera while I'm pretending to be on the phone doing anything important?
Yeah. So, the truth is really between.
By the way, welcome, trolls Facebook user. Get out of here. You don't get to come into my chat room and not use your real name, stupid. Trump's not running again. And if he announces, he'll have to pull out within 3 months because he can't afford to. Just telling you.
The attorney's handling this, and we'll get to the bottom of it.
Well, if it's top
get to the bottom of it. Talk to your client.
secret too, why are we reporting on it? Why?
If it's top secret, why are we reporting on it? They're reporting on it without intrinsic details. They're not telling the details. As a matter of fact, the source isn't even saying that. They're saying it's about this broader issue. They're not telling you the content. They're telling you the theme. That's like saying if there's, secure compartmentalized information, why are we talking about it? Because he frigging stole it. That's why.
Is this stuff leaking out if it's supposedly top secret?
It's so funny. It's like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, why are they even mentioning it's a crime? Like, how do they even talk about the general nature? Like, why are they even printing the address of Mar-a-Lago? There are top secret documents hidden there. Not hidden, sitting around.
I thought it was interesting. The
in front of a window.
Journal had an article over the weekend that detailed everything that was seized. 43 of those folders in that staged photograph they showed us last week. This photograph.
Not a staged photograph. You have what? Oh. Yes. Spectacular. Okay, great. Thank you. The food is ready. You can pick it up anytime. Okay. Sorry, the hotel had some questions about something. It's very exciting. Yes, room service, but not. Oh, I appreciate that. She ordered pickup food so that they don't barge in here and go, "What? Who's making all this noise?" Mm-hmm. No, I'm with you. Now I just get to watch you, get up and walk across the. I'm just saying, you guys are. Yeah. Okay. Just making sure there are no reflections behind me. It's a hotel. Calm down. All right. Anyways, this is not a staged photo. This is an evidence photo. The idea that this was staged is such like a childish attempt to try and badmouth the FBI. It's just brutal. Like, there's a certain. I have like a line with these folks where they're like, all right, complain about this, talk your legal nonsense about what you think your case is. That's what criminal defense attorneys are supposed to do, defend your client fully or whatever. But and even like the right-wing media, when they're like, the president loves this country and they can bloviate all they want. But the minute you start shitting on the FBI agents that conducted this one, this is just an evidentiary photo. That's all this is. This is what they do. We found this stuff. This is 2A. That's why there's a little 2A right there. This is the contents of the 2A evidence gathering point. That's it. This is what they found in this box. They're not taking the rest of this shit. They didn't take the whole box, by the way. They didn't take his photos. Now, I would argue that finding this much shit and finding empty envelopes, I would open all of those frames. I would take the backs off of those frames and see what's in them. Now, granted, in Trump world, they're probably too stupid to pull off something like that. So if anybody hid top secret information inside the framed photos, it was probably Kash Patel or one of those other folks in his office who were stealing, even beyond what Trump was taking.
Right here, where folders say secret, confidential, or top secret, 43 were empty folders. They were just empty folders.
Yeah. What happened to the contents?
That the president had in a box, but the
yeah. What happened to the contents?
left is touting this stuff like it's, confidential state secrets.
They may have been. Where the fuck are they?
What stood out to me with this special master decision, Florida Judge Eileen Cannon.
Hang the fuck out. You don't get to gish gallop right past that. You don't get to drop this like, they're empty folders. They just are folders that say top secret. They didn't have anything in them. They used to. They should. The fuck are you doing?
She issued this 24-page decision. Pages 2 and 3, Elena, stated that Joe Biden knew this raid was going to happen before it happened. He knew as early as May and had to approve of it. What'd you make of that?
We had a letter in May that indicated that Joe Biden, and I had been saying this on the news, but if you're watching the wrong news, you won't get the information.
Yeah, I watch the wrong news, I guess.
We got a letter from them in May that...
Them? Who's them? No one knows who is them. Only they know who is them.
The president had deferred to the Council for NARA. That means that he basically said, look, I'm going to waive executive privilege for a former president who happens to be my leading candidate and my possible opponent in the 2024 race. It's unconscionable.
It's unconscionable. He should have, I guess, exerted executive privilege for documents Trump had no right to. What are you talking about?
The fact that he says that he knew nothing about it is unconscionable.
No, he specifically chose not to. Again, this is kind of like the Steve Bannon thing. Like he said, Biden's been stiff-arming this stuff on purpose because he wants it to succeed. If he was, he doesn't have to. That's the interesting thing. He doesn't have to like green light this shit or push for it because Trump is so ham-handed in his bullshit that he's getting busted on his own. You think there needs to be a setup for this stuff to be a crime? He gave them 60 days of footage, and they were like, holy shit, look at the people coming in and out of this room. Biden doesn't need to do anything.
Oh, that he deferred to them. Of course, his general counsel, his attorneys in the White House knew.
Yes, they knew. But they did not interfere. If they knew and they did something, they knew that the DOJ wasn't going to do something. And they acted to make the DOJ do something. Or if they knew the DOJ was going to do something and they acted to stop it, that both of those things would be interference. He didn't do either. And again, the idea that somebody outside the DOJ whispered it up the chain as opposed to sought official okays is garbage because it has no basis on any of it anyways. It doesn't change the trajectory. Everything Trump did is still a crime. The only thing that Biden could have done is exert executive privilege to protect Trump from his own criminality, from Trump's own criminality. Why the fuck would he do that?
So what do I make of it? I think it's more of the same, unfortunately.
It is more of the same. Trump criming, and finally him getting the comeuppance he deserves.
What's going on in this country right now? It's very divisive. It's very deceiving.
Yeah, it's very divisive. Yes, there's a huge dividing line between people who steal nuclear secrets and get away with it and those who don't. I guess that's the division now.
Thought it was sort of interesting too. We learned
Oh, somebody's playing.
You're usually not the loudest person.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So I'm not the loudest person.
I don't hear you. All I hear is that.
Good. I think someone else is doing their own Trump read of this stuff because they're just playing sad trombone. That's all. Wop, wah. That's all it is. I should just have them come over.
You should.
And every time Christina Habba tries to say something, hold on one second. Let's see if I've got sample grid. Is it in here? Yeah, they can just go like that.
That 24-page decision on Monday, Labor Day, that 16-year-old Barron Trump had his room raided.
16-year-old Barron Trump has a room there, but he doesn't live there. Neither does Melania. Just for the record.
As well. Do you find it ironic that Barron Trump had his room raided before Hunter Biden had his room raided?
Sorry, does Hunter Biden have a room at Mar-a-Lago?
I don't find it ironic. I find it sick.
It's sick. It's so sick. It's sick. What is that? Oh, thanks, babe.
Hunter Biden's.
Something I didn't ask for food, and Summer got it for me anyways, and that's just a beautiful thing because she's a wonderful woman, and I'm just going to say that.
Sitting there He's doing God knows what with God knows who.
Yes, God does, and God will ultimately be the judge of it. But I got news for you. It's not illegal in any other court right now, except, I guess, the court of MAGA opinion.
And his laptop from hell.
There is no laptop. There is no Hunter Biden laptop, for the record. Feel free to at me. There isn't one. Doesn't exist. Try harder. Try again. There is no Hunter Biden laptop.
Suppressed, as we also learned this week.
No, you didn't.
Before elections, because.
Wait a minute. How long before the election? Back up 1 second. When?
As we also learned this week, 1 week before elections.
1 week before elections. It's been 1 week since I suppressed the laptop and. All right.
Because they're sneaking people through a back door and then not calling them back.
If you know what I'm saying. Huh? What?
No, got suppressed, as we also learned this week, 1 week before elections, because they're sneaking people through a back door and then not calling them back. It's just unbelievable.
All right. Does anybody know what she just said? Does anybody know? Does anybody have any idea what the fuck that means? This is Trump's lawyer. I can see why he hired her. Because, and that she talks like he does. I have no idea what the shit that was. That's amazing. Can we run that by, this is Trump's lawyer again. Let's run that by me again. This is about the Hunter Biden laptop. This is her answer to why was Barron's room raided, and it wasn't, before Hunter Biden's room was, which again.
Also learned this week, 1 week before elections, because they're sneaking people through a back door and then not calling them back.
Now she's sounding like, the more I listen to it, she sounds like a jilted lover. Like she got tricked into playing just the tip and still mad about it.
It's just unbelievable.
Yes, it is. It's unbelievable that 1 week before elections, they snuck through the back door and didn't call you back. What? I don't know. I don't know what that is. Okay, one more time. I'm still back up to his question.
I find it ironic. I find it sick. Hunter Biden's sitting there. He's doing God knows what with God knows who.
Okay, that part I understand. That's enough. I mean, I think that's going to be the name of Hunter Biden's next autobiography. But
and his laptop from hell got suppressed, as we also learned this week, 1 week before elections. Multiple
elections?
Because they're sneaking people through a back door and then not calling them back. It's just unbelievable.
All right. I don't know. I don't know what that means. I honest to God don't understand what those words mean in that order. Maybe, hold on. Maybe if I turn on subtitles, hold on. Hold on.
To learn this week, 1 week before elections, because they're sneaking people through a back door and then not calling them back. It's just unbelievable. You know, it's sad. Meanwhile, a 16-year-old who's done nothing wrong has his room completely rampaged.
Okay, first of all, again, yeah, that didn't help. Still garbage. Also, there's no such thing as a 16-year-old who's done nothing wrong. As someone who has been a 16-year-old boy, let me tell you, it just doesn't happen. Also, that's not his personal room. Like, Trump lives there by himself most of the time. Like, they don't even pretend that he and Melania live there all the time, if ever. They allow him to use one of the. Barron and Melania both bring suitcases to Mar-a-Lago when they come. Those rooms are rented when they're not there.
A woman who was the first lady of this country, is a beautiful first lady, had her clothes rummaged through.
Yeah.
Excuse me, they rummaged through her drawers, which, by the way, is very close to what Trump said you're allowed to do if you're a star.
And for what? You know, it's
apparently to see if Trump himself hid things in his wife and his child's room to avoid getting caught. Have these assholes ever like watched Casino or any like crime drama? That's like saying they searched the toilet in the baby's room they found a kilo, but in the
because he's an opponent.
Elena,
That's
Bill Barr,
just
Donald Trump's
un-American.
former, sorry, Elena, Bill Barr, Donald Trump's former attorney general, said that.
By the way, said using complete sentences that made sense. I think that's crucial. Whatever he's going to quote Barr as saying, when Barr spoke this week, he used to represent the president in many ways, and certainly backed him up in some ways. But when he spoke, his sentences actually meant something.
Judge Cannon's ruling was deeply flawed. Do you think the DOJ will appeal the special master ruling?
I'm sure they will.
I don't think the appointment of special master is going to hold up, but even if it does, I don't feel it fundamentally changes the trajectory. In other words, I don't think it changes the ball game so much. Maybe we'll see a rain delay for a couple of innings. By the way, I wasn't even the AG of the United States, and I said that immediately while the rest of you were panicking for the those of you that follow me on Twitter, back me up on here. Did I or did I not say, as soon as this crap happened, and everybody's like, the special master, we have no justice in this country. Rex Chapman was losing his mind. Love him, but he was losing his mind. Chris Titus was losing his mind. A bunch of people were like freaking out. They're gonna chief handpicked the judge and he judge shopped it. I was like, it's not gonna do shit. and everybody legally in the upper echelons of this that know this stuff after I said it, have come out and gone, yeah, it's not gonna, it's like, I mean, that's a rain delay is a good analogy for what this is. Hal Sparks, Bill Barr whisperer. I'm just saying, you're in good hands. Do I not treat you right as your favorite political YouTuber, your favorite Twitch politics YouTuber? Do I not do good by you and tell you stuff that is true on a regular basis? I do. It's what I do. And because you deserve it. I'm just saying. How many times have I said stuff and like 3 days later, like people who are like AGs of states or like huge multimillionaire defense attorneys go, yeah, this is going to be what's happening. This is really what this means. I'm like, yeah, it's exactly what I said it means.
I'm sure they will.
You're welcome. I adore you guys. Yeah.
You know, realistically, though, what people need to remember is this is an injunction. So at this moment, everything has stopped in terms of any investigation they maybe have.
No, it hasn't.
Which is a very big win.
No, the FBI has had to pause its damage assessment temporarily. The rest of the government, especially the CIA and the Defense Department and the Department of Homeland Security, they get to look at all this stuff to make sure nothing's gone wrong. So it's like, and this will overturn the 11th Circuit, even if they like Trump and they like her, are the Judge Cannon, they're going to overturn this too. It's a stupid precedent that if it carried in every criminal case they had, it would crash the Justice Department. It's moronic. How can you wouldn't even like the idea of being pro law and order in this context is just idiotic.
Trump team. In terms of whether they're going to appeal it, I'm sure they will. I
Right.
mean, if I was the attorney for the other side, I would fight as well.
Right. But they wouldn't hire you because they like people who can speak in complete sentences. And when those sentences come out, they actually have meaning.
The reality is they're not supposed to be litigious. They're supposed to be cooperative. This is the Department of Justice. Yeah.
No, they're not. They're supposed to prosecute in the name of justice. They're not supposed to be like, believe me, you'll get all the stuff that you have a right to. He's going to get his medical records back. He's going to get the stuff that because you cannot say like, can you imagine what RICO would be like if all a gangster had to do was put notes to his attorney in his criminal ledger where he tracks payments for cocaine shipments and human trafficking? The idea that the attorney could go, you can't even look in that whole thing because it contains attorney-client privilege. Like, attorney-client privilege is a wrapper you could put around incriminating evidence just to get through. It's like, it's just idiotic. No. You don't get to put your birth certificate and your passport and your medical records in with every criminal endeavor you're in with and go, Your Honor, that has to be thrown out. That was right next to my baby pictures. Get the fuck out of here. This is stupid.
You're supposed to enforce justice and laws.
They are. That's what they're doing. They're not litigious. They're pushing back against your delay tactics.
But the litigiousness is...
Oh, Leslie. Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much for the birthday month Venmo. Appreciate that so much.
Concerning, and I think it's a it's politicizing.
It's a hard word to say. Politicization.
Basically the Department of Justice.
Yeah, just politicizing the Department of Justice. No. If a politician commits a crime and they are charged by their own party or the other party, that is not politics. That's just crime. Just criming. You're just criming.
The FBI, which is uncanny.
Okay. Alina Habba.
Uncanny? Wait, what? What do you mean uncanny?
Politicizing litigiousness is concerning, and I think...
Hold on. I want to hear that litigiousness.
Justice. Yes, you're supposed to enforce justice and laws, but the litigiousness is concerning, and I think it's a...
The litigiousness is concerning. They're not suing him just to sue him. What?
Because, it's politicizing basically the Department of Justice.
Now, in her defense, that's a difficult word to say, and she has problems with normal words anyways.
FBI, which is uncanny.
Okay.
Uncanny. Fuck me. Like, this is bad.
Alina Habba, great having you back on. Good to see you.
Is it really, though?
We'll do it again soon, hopefully.
Too.
No, you don't want to have to do it again soon. You would rather, you're on Trump's side. You don't want to have to deal with this at all. You want it to all go away. Hope I never have to see you again, Elena.
Thanks.
Okay? Thanks, guys. Like, really? Fuck, man. That's, like, can you imagine being that terrible at your job? Jesus Christ. That's a mess. I thought Christina Bobb was terrible. That woman makes Christina Bobb look like fucking Raymond Burr, who's also a fake lawyer, but you get my point. He makes her look like Raymond Burr. Not when he was Ironsides. Was he Ironsides? I think he was Ironsides. But Raymond Burr in Rear Window. Christina Bobb for SCOTUS. Yeah, if we just want to scuttle the whole country like a ship we don't care about. Christina Blah and Elena Blah Blah. Yeah, Rear Window. He was, yeah. Wasn't he in? Yeah, Perry Mason. Thank you. Yes, he was in Rear Window. He was the killer in Rear Window.